Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I am Anareta Bashalieva, along with co-host Dr. Viktor Fett, Dr. Katerina Shrey, and our program producer, Professor Larry Sherey. We host a weekly discussion panel on Russia's war on Ukraine with guests from Ukraine, military experts, medical personnel, academics, artists, literary figures, and relief workers. Our panel is recorded and circulated nationally and internationally. We appreciate your comments and feedback. Special thanks to Marshall University Libraries and MUIT for making this weekly event possible. If you are joining us live on Teams, please feel free to use the chat to post any question for our guests. A quick greetings to our viewers in Ukraine from Professor Katerina Shrey.
Цей святочний час вітаємо наших слухачів в Україні з глибоким покліном. Ми далі свідки вашого страшного терпіння і також вашої великої сили. Дякую вам за вашу участь в нашій тижневій програмі.
Thank you. And today's guest will be introduced by Professor Viktor Fett.
Thank you, Nara. I'm very pleased to welcome back our regular contributor to the program right from Kyiv, from the capital of fighting Ukraine, Dr. Petro Strizhak. This is our first program in the new year, which we all hope will become the year of victory for Ukraine. Dr. Strizhak is a chemistry professor, corresponding member of the Ukrainian Academy of Sciences, head of the department at the Institute of Physical Chemistry at National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine. He has been with us before, and we invited him to our 97th weekly meeting to give us an update of current events. As we know, the war doesn't stop and the attacks on Kyiv are intensifying. We welcome Dr. Strizhak, and we thank him for being with us today. Please, Petro, microphone is yours. The rest of us, please turn off our cameras so we don't have interference.
Thank you, Victor, very much for introducing me. I do appreciate this panel. I appreciate what you are doing. I guess that is very important for all Ukrainians that a small community in the United States takes so much care about Russian war in Ukraine, about what's going on in Ukraine. And basically, when Professor Fett invited me this time to this panel, I had no idea what to talk about, because basically it's almost the end of the second year of Russian invasion in Ukraine and the 10th year of the Russian war in Ukraine. I would like to remind you that the war started not on February 24th, 1922, but in February, March 2014. So this is the 10th year of the war. And during last 2 years, I mean, during the Russian massive invasion to Ukraine, people started to adjust themselves to conditions they have to live under the conditions of the war. I mean, there is not much to say. Each day, almost each day, we have air alarms. In my institute, we organized, I guess, during the first day of the war, I mean, in February 24th, we organized shelter, and a lot of people are going to that shelter during the air alarms. And but almost, I mean, during this year, there were not so many strikes on Kyiv, because we are saying that Kyiv is the most air defensible city in the world. And I will convince you that it is the case. I guess in May it was a sort of huge missile attack, several attacks during the year, but that time almost all missiles were intercepted and destroyed by our air defense forces. Thanks to the United States of America, thanks to all countries from Europe who provided us with modern air defense systems. We have Patriots, we have NASAMS, we have, I guess, we have almost all air defense systems that are produced in United States and in Europe, and they are very effective. I remember when I guess nobody of you understands what it means the launch of Patriot missile. So I would say you that the first launch, it was not far from my building, but not far it means, I guess, not too far actually. So so I don't know. It was like your building is going to launch. So everything was shaking. It was a huge blow, but hopefully it intercepted the Russian missile and everything went smoothly. But that's wow. That's it's like I don't know. Uh, Chemists may know if you blow up some hydrogen with oxygen, 10 liters of mixture at atmosphere, that may be something like that, but that nearby you, but that's too far, 10, 15 kilometers from you, and wow, that's impressive. And so well, and in Kyiv, I mean that life, I would like to say that in Kyiv, life goes smoothly. And again, uh, I guess everybody is adjusted to the war. People understand everything, and they work to support our defense forces, our soldiers, our troops, and I think that's the most important part of life for everybody. So again, nothing too much to say, but the war is personal thing, and as I told you, people were adjusted to the war, and you should understand that by our law, uh, young, I mean, people are obligated to serve in defense forces at the age after 27. So our state decided that young people should study, should get some knowledge, and the main idea is that these people should recover our country after we win the war. And these people, most of them are students, and my son, he is also a student at the university in Kyiv. Uh, and it's Christmas time, Christmas Eve, New Year Eve. These young people decided to gather together at some apartment of their friends. Basically, they are very good and smart young people. They perform a lot of work to support our country. I wouldn't tell about that. And but you know, war is war. But people should get some holidays. They should celebrate. They should relax, and that basically supports everybody that supports them. And otherwise, what is the reason to struggle against Russians if people wouldn't live there? I wouldn't say normal life, but almost, or how to say it, quasi-normal life that would be better, because you know it's always in your mind what's going on. And anyway, so well, that's the beginning of the story. Maybe you know, maybe not, but I mean, couple days before New Year Eve and the second day of the New Year, that's the January 2nd. During these 2 days, Russians performed the most massive long-range missile attack on the city that happened ever during the human history. They launched or they targeted on the sea, on the Kyiv, more than 100 long-range missiles. So most of them are ultrasonic missiles. So those missiles is very hard to intercept and to destroy before they target. But even if you if um, if you intersect the missile in the air, then only part of missile is destroyed, and explosive part may fall down to the ground and blow up. And basically, if it happened in the city, so it's a huge explosion. And well, so that's for you, just for your impression. So just I don't know. I am not an expert, but that what I have been learned from our internet resources, that was the most massive missile. I mean, long missile attack with long range missiles, not with short range missiles like 30 kilometers or 50 kilometers, just more than 1,000 kilometers. And well, so that's the first statement. The second statement, the final result. January 2nd, I woke up and look on my window. And before I describe it, I will come back to March 2022, just the first month of the Russian invasion to Ukraine. That time we didn't have a good air defense system. That time we didn't have enough weapon. Thanks to United States and Great Britain, who supported us with some kinds of weapons just a week before invasion. And that time, I wouldn't say that each day, but almost each day, all city was in fire and in smoke. So I'm living on the high floor, and I see almost all city from my windows. And if I go to my friends, so I will see the another part of the city. So that time, almost each day, it was a smoke, heavy, black smoke on the city, places with fire. That time we were just started to prepare ourselves how to defend, how to fight, how to treat the fire, how to treat people and things like that. So hopefully when we kicked off Russians from the city, from north of the country, nothing like that happened since, I guess, May 2022. So January 2nd this year, just 3 days ago, the picture was the same. All city was in fire with black smoke, with dark smoke, and you breathe this smoke. It's not. I mean, it's like you breathe smoke from the car or something like that. So it was like that. So it was really a huge attack. And our air defense forces, they did very good. Basically, I don't remember exact digits, but more than 80% of missiles were destroyed before they reached the city. Part of them were destroyed when they reached the city, and part of them were not destroyed, unfortunately. The special kind of Russian missiles we cannot destroy them because there are just few of them. Hopefully, they don't have too much of that kind of missiles. So that's the whole picture. What happened during this 2 days, 2 days before New Year Eve and 2 days after New Year Eve. So my son, they have a very bright company. They decided to face New Year Eve at the apartment of their friend. Young people are young people, so they were drinking, were contemplating, smiling, discussing, so just enjoying it. And for your impression, they didn't make too many pictures, but I would like to ask Professor Fett to show photo number one and picture number two, if it's possible. Yeah, so this is their company. So please pay your attention to the design of the apartment. It's a good furnished apartment. Young people are celebrating the New Year Eve, but you may see that in spite of the celebration, their faces are, I would like to say, they are not too happy. And that's our life, because during last 2 years, almost all of us has had a loss of their relatives. I don't see here the young lady. She lost her father-in-law and how to say it, and okay, and another relative. Other people also lost their relatives, and most of these losses are not on the front line. Most of these losses are civilians because of missile strikes, or other reasons caused by the Russian war. So second photo, please, Victor. I would appreciate your showing it. No, photo, not just because no, not this one. Oh, this one. It's just you see how nice, how looks this apartment. It's very nice. On the left side, on your left hand, it's owner of apartment, young man, student, very bright guy. I know everybody from this company. I know personally everybody from this company. On your right hand, that's my son, who is not so smart but a good student. At just January 1st, they are after celebration. I think that's after celebration. So just they decided to leave the apartment in the evening, January 1st. And January 2nd morning, 7:40, I think, it was Russian attack and a missile targeted near this building. It's a 9-level building with, I guess, something like 200 apartments. So, and the consequences of that blast you will see next movie, please. Victor, I would appreciate showing movie.
Movie number one.
Yeah, movie number one, I guess that's apartment. So remember, that's so nice, well furnished, well established apartment with where people were celebrating New Year Eve. Yeah, movie 01. Yeah. And that was how it looks after.
Ну, Денис, в принципе, хорошая клининговая компания. Это пиздец.
So that's just, I guess, 4 or 5 hours after the attack. So, and the owner of the apartment, he was lucky guy. Basically, okay, well, during that blast, after that blast, or as a result of that blast, more than 70 people from this building were wounded in some manner, and they should take medical care. And two old ladies, they were killed. One of those ladies, okay, well, I am working at the National Academy of Science, but I'm also teaching at the university. And one of those old ladies, she was 85 years old. She was a professor on the faculty where I am working. She died right after the blast. So, and the owner of that apartment, he was lucky guy. He was sleeping, and you should understand, it's that building the apartment, it has windows on both sides of the building. So the blast wave just blow through the apartment, smashing all windows, furniture, whatever, and just touch the blast wave just touched the that young guy, but hopefully he didn't get any kind of damage, no wounded, nothing. Nothing like that. And second movie, Victor.
Yes, second movie.
Okay. So
One
the first
second.
movie, that's right inside the apartment, and the second movie outside the building. So
One moment.
before Victor starts, I would like you to pay attention on the red car. That's actually Ford. That's outside, and that's away towards the blast crater. So that's something like 100 meters before blast crater. That's red car. Ford, United States.
Ёб твою мать. Пизда.
So, and as you may guess, that red car belonged to the friend of my son. His name Dennis. So basically, after the blast, no apartment, no car, just nothing. So that's how it looks inside the war, and that's what people are preparing to face each day. So basically, 7:40 or something like that. But I mean, early in the morning, um, the missile targeted that building. So Dennis went to the window maybe 2 or 3. I discussed with him 2 or 3 minutes after the blast. So, and maybe 5 minutes or 10, doesn't matter. So, but I would like to say you how we are well prepared to situation like that. In the yard of the building, the all services appeared. So basically, police came, ambulance came, firefighters came. We also have special. It's called special police troop. It's separate. So basically, police is a police. They care about security, stuff like that, helping people. But special service, police service, they started immediately searching for consequences of the blast. They started to document everything according to international law. And they studied all these things, I guess, year and a half ago. So there are specially prepared people who know how to document everything. And it also came a special how it's called a special explosive service. So basically, special explosive service police came first. They organized security that nobody should go, everybody should stay at the place where you are. So, and this explosive service, they search for the residues of the explosives, so that no further damage appeared after the blast. So because some parts may be not blown up or something like that. So at the same time, firefighters they are great guys. So it took them, I guess, 4 or 5 hours to fix the fire and to finish their job, so that everything was I mean became secure. They went to each apartment, they searched for people, they searched for pets, things like that. So by the way, Dennis has a pet, it's a cat. So, and cat has got sort of, I mean, it was wounded, so it spent, I guess, 2 days in special pet service to fix the damage it got. So, and uh, so during the first, I guess, when so that happened in the morning, they called. I mean, Dennis called my son. My son called me before 9. Dennis told that there is no reason to come in because. I mean, it's a chain, it's a police chain, so they don't allow anybody to come in. Only just ambulance, medical care, stuff like that. So basically, and I guess only at 4 or 5 p.m. they allowed to come to apartments. So that time, and remember all these young people who were celebrating together the New Year Eve. So all of them came to Dennis, to that building, to help him to fix everything. So remember, it's a winter time in Kyiv, and unfortunately, day after that we had a -9 temperature outside, and in 2 or 3 days we will have almost -20 degrees centigrade, not Fahrenheit. And so municipal service came immediately after firefighters finished their job. So, and they started to fix the windows. So they have large wooden plates. So just fix that cold will not come into the building. But I don't think that will help too much because the blast, I mean, well, okay. So it's a huge building, so 200 apartments, and each building like that, it has a special electrical supply. It's a separate building with transformators and some facilities like that, and also separate some heating suite that supports heat for the building. Also, this building was supplied with gas line. Everything is destroyed. So everything was destroyed. No heat, no electricity, no gas, just nothing. So when they realized all, I mean, when that company of, I mean, Dennis, my son, and their friends, they realized that. So I went and I picked up lighters, some stuff that will help them, some polyethylene film. I found thick polyethylene film to fix windows so that heat somehow will preserve inside. And till the evening, all that has been fixed. So next 2 days, instead of having fun and rest, because it's sort of it's a break between exams in universities and break for people, not for all people who are working, but for some people. So all these young people from that company, they each morning they came to the building helping Dennis to fix everything. This evening, yesterday, my son told me that they threw away all junk from the apartments. They fixed everything, so just small things left that would be fixed later. And Dennis was Dennis was lucky because he had no apartment, no car, nothing, just nothing. Hopefully, I owe another apartment in the city, and basically there are few apartments. It just happened because my parents died, parents of my wife died. Okay, well, by the way, so I told you that civilians they the most losses are among civilians. That's clear because on front line, of course, there are a lot of losses on the front line, and that's enormous losses, and we need more soldiers to defend our country. So basically, but much more losses against civilians, especially among old people. And my father-in-law, he died during the first month of the war in March 2022. So his apartment left, and other apartment, our another apartment we gave to refugees from the south of Ukraine, from the territory which is occupied right now by Russians. And that apartment was empty, so right now Dennis is living in that apartment, hopefully till his apartment will be fixed. He has a place where to live, and that's his life would be not smooth, but not so bad as it might be in the case if he wouldn't find a proper place to live. So basically, at the end, well, I took too much time, I guess. So at the end, what would be the next of the story? I asked. I have a friend in insurance company, so I phoned him asking how it may be because he has experience, and basically general. I wouldn't say some specific things, but in general. So in general, it will take from half a year to year to repair the building because the damage is huge in this case. In cases when it's not so, the damage is not so huge, it takes from 3 months to half a year to repair everything so people may start to live in the apartment that has been damaged before. In this case, unfortunately, all supplies were destroyed, all communications were destroyed. So basically, everything was destroyed. So windows were destroyed. You you have got impression from inside the apartment how it looks, so everything should be thrown away. And remember that firefighters it took them 4 or 5 hours, so all building is in water. The walls are warm and its temperature below 0 degrees centigrade outside. So that's just disaster. That what but our municipal service or state service, basically, I don't know who supports it and in which way, but basically I know and I have seen it by myself that the apartments that were destroyed in March 2022, they were repaired and everything looks pretty good. In one apartment, not friend of mine, friend of mine, he is owner of apartment that has been destroyed. So basically, today he is living in his apartment. So everything was repaired. Unfortunately, with car, no way. So there is no way to get um, anything for your car. So that's life. Only just there's only one hope for people, and it's also a friend of mine, not from this company. I mean, not from these young people. I mean, friend of mine, he lost his car during missile attack in 2022. So, and they just documented it. They put it in special. We have special service where state collects all damage made by Russians. And it's only one hope that in years after we win, maybe something happened and people will get money back for the damage they have got. So basically, that how it works. But with apartments, probably you know that it's well known cities nearby Kyiv, Irpin and Bucha. So in Irpin, many buildings were repaired, almostly. So not all, I guess, not all buildings, but almost all. In Bucha, the situation is the same. So it goes smoothly. I wouldn't say that in all cities and villages buildings were repaired and restored be- be- for different reasons. For different reasons, some places they are not far from front lines. Some places are not far from border, and you should understand that along the border with Ukraine, each day, Russians attack civilians with different kind of short range weapons up to 30 kilometers. So it looks like on the Ukrainian side, if you cannot live in place that is placed the distance less than 30 or 50 kilometers from the border. For example, Kharkov, that's one of the most huge cities in Ukraine. Almost each day, Russians attack them with range missiles. Basically, you should understand that Russians don't have too much long range missiles. In the internet you may find a number which is assumed to be available for them, but they have an enormously large number of air defense missiles, and they converted these air defense missiles. Air defense means land, air. It should strike some target in the air. So they converted these missiles to land, and cities which are located not far from the front line or from the border, they are under attack of this kind of missiles, and the number of those missiles is enormous. So basically almost each day people are having trouble, like I showed you in Kharkiv, in Kherson, in Zaporizhia. So that's it. I guess I took wow. Okay, but anyway, I guess that the damage to the city, to the Kyiv, would be much more. I would say that if all missiles that were launched would target the city would be destroyed. So at the end, I would like to appreciate all support, all personal support from you, support from the United States, support from the Europe, and I would like to say that maybe people don't understand that. In Ukraine, everybody understands that perfectly, but in the United States or in Europe, maybe not too many people understand that without that support, people in Ukraine wouldn't survive. So basically, Russians would destroy Kyiv, Odessa, Nikolaev, all cities would be destroyed. So, and if we will not get support during next 3-4 months, I guess that would be disaster for Ukraine, and it looks like Ukraine will not exist anymore on the map of our globe, because if imagine that if we would not have that kind of smart air defense system, what it would be. Almost each building in Kyiv would be destroyed. So the capital of Ukraine wouldn't exist anymore, and that's just the case if we will not get the support from the United States and from Europe. But I hope that in spite of situation in United States, in some European countries, we will get sufficient military support to defend our country, to defend our cities, to defend our people. And I am pretty sure that everybody of you is doing his best to help that kind of support. And as far as people like you are living in United States and in the rest of the world, we will be supported, and Ukraine will survive, and we win this war. Thank you very much again. Thank you. I am sorry. I thought I wouldn't be talking so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Strizhak. This was absolutely remarkable, and we are deeply honored to record your personal account. And there is really not much we can add. It's really remarkable to be present right now, and I cannot really describe the feelings, Katerina.
Yeah, I mean, the contrast between the happy young people celebrating New Year's Eve and then just a few hours later, the destruction, it's overwhelming. And as you pointed out, even the facial expressions of the young people, there is a sadness so profound there that doesn't make sense in the faces of young people. And yet this is what war does. So it's incredibly powerful. Um, this is that when that building was hit, that's clearly a mass casualty situation. Is the infrastructure, are hospitals prepared to handle that
Yeah,
number?
yeah.
That's
Oh,
impressive.
yeah. Oh, wow. Well, I I don't know digits, but I'm sure that even thousands of people, our hospitals are ready to handle them.
That's amazing. That, I mean,
So
that's a real.
during these 2 years, I mean, all system has been changed. So basically, we have very sophisticated, smart system, shelters, hospitals, ambulance. I told you, it's police, fire departments, explosive departments. So that's, I mean, and all these people, they know what to do. There is no rush. There is no, you know, they know what should be done, how it should be done, and they are doing it in the right place in the right time.
No, thank God for that. That's very impressive. It's very, I think, also when you showed us the apartment, you're pointing out it is a very nice apartment. It's also very familiar. This is what our homes look like too. And this is so important to our American viewers to see that the people of Ukraine, they're exactly living like us, except for this
Yeah,
horrible war has happened. So you make it very relatable. And that is so important right now, especially as there's division in our government whether or not to continue funding and whatnot. So this is so important right now for you to show that these are people just like us who did not ask for this war. This is a terrible thing, and to show the destruction. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
thank
I
you.
have children, Yuri. I have kids. Your son. I have a 23-year-old daughter, a 21-year-old son, 19-year-old son, and 17-year-old son. So I suspect our children are close. Your son is how old?
Oh, he is 22.
Yeah, so we have children the same age. And I cannot imagine as a father how much your heart must break for your son to come into adulthood during this horrible time. So my heart goes out to you and just thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you. Ah, well, and what I also, you touched question about young people. So basically, I told you that young people at the age before 27, they are not forced to serve in the military forces, but there are a lot of young people who came to military forces by their own will. So that's allowed, and everybody of those young people, they have friends who are serving in military service in different places. I don't remember about frontline, but there are, um, I guess, the same, at least the same. Each of them has at least one friend who is in military service.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, more questions from our live viewers and comments from the panel, please. Open your microphone. I know that many are absolutely overwhelmed by what you did show, and it's hard to digest when things you realize are happening yesterday or so. We know, we watch the news, of course, and we know the numbers from the news, but it's quite another thing to have a direct report from a person who can show these things to us.
And I would like to emphasize that in this way, the war touched everybody in Ukraine. So there is no family that wouldn't have something like that. Not, of course, in this, because that was very huge blast and high damage, but there are cities which are totally demolished. Totally demolished. I have friends from these cities, and I asked them what they're thinking about their future, and they told we have no place to come back. We should organize our life somewhere else, in some other place, because they don't know what time it takes to deoccupy that territory, what time that takes to recover everything, to rebuild this city. And these cities, that's not American city with population of thousands. That's a city with population with 100,000 people. You 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 may imagine that. Just imagine American city with 100,000 people and totally destroyed. Nothing, just ground.
Dr. Strizhak, you mentioned a comparison to American cities. I'm wondering, this is a sensitive question. Are people respectful of other people's property? Like, for example, if there's a tragedy, sometimes in our cities, people will do something called looting, which is just kind of coming in, taking whatever. It's just like, oh, are people respectful of other people's, give people a chance to recover their own things, or do people just take whatever? Does that make sense? I'm not sure if I'm asking. I don't know how to say looting. That's such a specifically American term. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand what you are saying. So but basically, just imagine that. that's basic. Well, how to explain it? Just imagine that you are living in American village, and somebody came to you. He kicked you off. He destroyed your town, and you got nothing. You are just in the middle of the field with nothing. No money, no documents, just nothing. And there are thousands of people who were treated like that. Moreover, they wow, so that's how it is these days in Ukraine. For example, my neighbor, he is from Mariupol, and he had a flat in Mariupol. So, but just it's not just no apartment, no building, no street, nothing, just nothing. They destroyed everything. They ruined lives of not thousands, hundreds of millions of Ukrainians. Imagine a small, nice town in Vermont with population 1,000 people, and 2 days after, nothing, just the ground. Half of people killed, half of people left with nothing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It is hard to imagine.
Yeah, that's the life in Ukraine. I mean, it's not, of course, it's not. But well, okay. During last couple of months, they destroyed, I guess, 3 or 4 towns like that.
Yeah.
So when you are saying that Russians, occupied something, I would explain you what it means. It means that first, um, they destroyed everything. They cannot occupy city. they destroy city, and then they go to the land left. That's it. They didn't occupy any city from April or May 2022.
I have an unrelated question to this. You'd mentioned this was a New Year's Eve celebration we were looking at, and a big change in the Ukrainian culture has been the shift from Christmas from from the old, what we call the Julian calendar, Gregorian calendar. This must be difficult. Like how is, because even here in the immigrant community, there are people who are firmly Julian calendar, Gregorian calendar. So yeah, talk a little bit about that. How has that been going?
Thank you for question, because it's a sort of kidding, of Ukrainian kidding. I'll explain you. So, well, during some historical reasons, we have Catholic Christmas, December 24.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have New Year, December 31st. Then we have old, it's called, it's not Christian, it's called, I would say it only in православный.
Oh, Orthodox. Orthodox.
Yeah, I forgot that word. Yeah. Well, okay. Orthodox Christmas, that's, I guess, January 7th. Then we have Old New Year, that's January 14th. So, and since 1991, when Ukraine became independent state, especially on the western part of our country, people were starting celebrating December 23rd and finishing celebrating January 21st. Moreover, trust me, in the middle of January, it happened, I guess it was 15 years ago. I was in some city near Lviv, that's western part of Ukraine, and I asked, okay, well, we should perform some kind of work. And they told me, are you crazy? We are celebrating till January 21st. We wouldn't work anymore before that time. Of course, that's sort of kidding, but basically, depending on because I mean, well, okay, me personally, I celebrate Catholic Christmas, December 24th, and New Year. I don't celebrate these old dates in January, but a friend of mine, he celebrates all 4 days. So it's personally just, you know, just give you a chance to have more fun, but of course not these days. These days, officially, okay, well, officially, all holidays were eliminated. We are not celebrating anything. So basically, only on personal level, no celebrations on state level, and no, it's called Red Day or Holiday Day. I'm sorry, holiday. So officially, everybody is working. If you are working for government, you are not allowed to avoid it. You should work. If you are working in private sector, so in that case, there are some options. But most of people are working without celebration.
Thank you so
For
much
example, January 1st, most of people went to their work.
Thank you. Thank you so much for explaining that. We've been wondering here.
Thank you, Peter. I see a lively exchange in the chat explaining that we had 12 days of Christmas. Of course, there is a song as well. but definitely it is a season where we summarize and have hopes. So thank you for summarizing and having hopes, and we can again be very honored of recording this chronicle of current events with you. Do we have more questions?
Thank you for doing that.
We will do it as long as we are needed, and I was told, we all were told by friends in Ukraine that this is important. I hope or those who watch will spread the word, and we now are planning for February and March for our speakers. We hope to have more volunteers from Ukraine and across Europe. I have a question from Dr. Smith. Carol, please.
Hi, Carol Smith. I live in West Virginia. Here I work for Marshall. I'm so proud to be part of this. I've been participating for as many meetings as I can come to, and it has finally dawned on me just how important this is. My father was an engineer, and he designed the missile systems for our nuclear submarine fleets for the United States Navy. So this guy was really, really smart. And he said that what they call contemporaneous records, those are records that are kept as they happen, are so important when establishing any kind of legal argument. And this meeting, week after week after week, it's just it's a small thing in and of itself each week, but as this library of these meetings grows, we are creating a contemporaneous record through reports just like yours of what exactly is happening in Ukraine and what it means. And this is, we're just little professors at a little university in a little state, but we're doing something really important. And I hope that this does bear fruit for Ukraine and for Ukraine's restoration and its victory and its future as we at some point are able to declare victory and start rebuilding. I realize there is a long way to go, and I realize there are very many awful and harrowing stories. But whatever we can do to be part of the light, that's what we want to do. We want to be part of the light. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. This is very nicely said, and keeping in mind that our Orthodox friends will celebrate their Christmas tomorrow, Christmas Eve this weekend, we also extend to everyone this hope of light, hope of new life for those who are struggling and fighting. Do we have more comments or questions, please? If not, I again thank Dr. Petro Strizhak for joining us this Friday, the first meeting of Ukraine panel on January 5th, 2024, the year as we're hoping year of victory for Ukraine. Katerina, please say a few words.
We not have a second guest today, or I'm sorry,
No.
I apologize. Oh, I apologize.
I don't think anyone is here. Yeah.
Thank you. I am ready. Дорогі браття і сестри в Україні, ми зберігаємо вас у наших щоденних думках і молитвах. Молимо, що цей новий рік принесе перемогу, мир, втілення душі і тіла. Нехай милосердний Бог тримає вас у своїй опіці. До наступного тижня. Прощаємося.
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Heroim Slava.